welcome to the session, folks. So let me go ahead. Hey, hi Rohit. Good morning to you. Hi Anil. Hi Femina. Hi Maheshwara. Hi Unmesh. Nice to see you back again. Hi Rashmi. Fantastic. So let me just go ahead and see the participants. So we have got hey, hi Ravi. Hi Sway. Then we have, let me go right from the top. So we have got Amok, we have got Anil, we have got Dave, we have got Gargi, we have got Gaurav, Kiran, we have got Madhava, Mithun, we have got Mohammed. Nice to see all of you guys. We have got Naveen, we have got Uday, Parag, Ram, then we have got, yeah, I have mentioned everybody. Nice guys, pleasure to be your instructor. Couple of things before we go ahead. I hope all of you have got access to your LMS. Okay. Hey, Anil, something is an issue at your end. Let me go back and tell Anil. Looks like Anil is having some issues with this. Just give me one sec. Others, can you please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear? Others should definitely be able to do that. Anil, looks to be an issue at your end. Okay, good. Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. Thanks, Gaurav. So, guys, please be interactive. I will make others as random presenters so that we would know how things are and what are the things that we should be doing. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So let me move on to our session. So today is our first lecture. So you would see that for different batches, I would be covering up different sessions. I'll be putting in a lot of documents. So if you look at the earlier batch that is completed, you would see multiple things, what people are saying. See here, okay? And then all these things would be put in the LMS for you. So let me just go back and show you how the LMS would look for the earlier batch. Let me log into my LMS. Others, please confirm if you have got access to your LMS. If you don't have access, please immediately go down to your coordinator. That could be Unmesh or Bhavik from Calabra, and they would give you access to it. Okay, so let me just scroll down to an earlier batch. There we go. So let me go down to this earlier batch, and you would see how the various course contents, the Hadoop setup. So let me go down to your batch and see what is put. I'm sure Unmesh would have already kept the basic things in your document. Yeah, there it is. See? He has already kept the basic stuff, that is the course contents, how do we do the Hadoop setup, the VM installation document, the 64-bit link VM, okay? All of those things have already been shared with you. And even the trial session that was taken over by the Collabora team, because I now would not be needed over there, that is primarily to ensure that you guys have got access to the the way how GoToMeeting works, etc. So that video recording is already put over here. Okay, so that is the way how it would be. So let me go ahead and start discussing about who am I, and then we will move on with the topics that we're going to cover up in the course. And then I would want to know from you as to what is your background, why are you doing this, so that we will come to know more about each of us. And the advantage over here is that the chat that you're seeing, you will be able to send it across to everybody. Okay, it is not like other training places where the chat itself comes down to only the instructor. No, we would have the chat going across to everybody. So if anybody asks a question, everybody else would also know the question that has been asked and the answer that has been done. So the primary purpose of that is to ensure that I would be able to focus on the questions rather than trying to do some housekeeping stuff. Right, so please use the chat to communicate as to how things are. I hope Gaurav, not Gaurav, Anil, your voice issue is resolved. Okay, please communicate. If nobody replies, I presume that all of you are able to hear me loud and clear. And I presume all of you have got access to this LMS also. Okay, if not, please put it into the chat window. So let me move on. Let me go ahead and start with the first session. Hey, Bilal, you will have to be in touch with the support team. Were you there in the trial session, Bilal? So Bilal was saying that he doesn't have an access, so please be in touch with the support team and send across an email to the Collabra support team where you have coordinated, and they will give you an access. The team that we have of Unmesh, of Bhavik, and one of the other colleagues, they are pretty good in replying back to your questions and giving you access and all that. So Unmesh is there, one of the support guys over here. So he's been giving you answers to a lot of things. So please communicate with him. And if you want to know who that would be, if you look on the top, you would see that there is Collabra Tag Organizer. Okay, so you can send across a message to him and start discussing that. Okay, Bilal, thank you. Hey, Unmesh says he's already mailed you the access. So Bilal, check your email, friend. Thank you. Okay, so let me move on. Let me go ahead to the Jan batch, and let me start with Neo, day 1. And let me put in the date. That's how I typically do. So 16 Jan. Fantastic. Okay, so a couple of things when we get started. Guys, please use the chat as much as you can to ask questions and make the things clear. Okay, so let me minimize my GoToMeetings window, the chat window. I'm keeping it over here in case if anybody has got a question. So the way how we will be starting today is we will go through the course contents so that the expectation setting would be done. Okay, expectation setting would be done. Okay, then before that, I will give you a quick intro about the instructor, and then I would want to know info about the participants, info about the participants, as to your background, okay, which organization, if you can say you're working, and why you are doing this course. Okay, and I presume all of you know that this is a Hadoop administration course that you have enrolled for. So let me quickly go ahead. Gaurav also says not able to access the LMS. So for those kind of things, Gaurav, good, you have put it over here. So send it across to Bhavik, Unmesh. So Unmesh, can you please look at this question? Thank you. So let me quickly let you know about myself. Let me go down to my linkedin.com so that you can, hey, thanks Unmesh. So you would come to know more about me. Let me go down to my profile. Okay, come on. The profile should come up, and there you go. It's always good to associate a face to a name, so that's the reason I put in my screenshot over there. So got totally about 24 years of experience into Hadoop and other training in general, 6 years specific on Hadoop. So started my career in Hadoop in 2009 with Bank of America when we were doing the 360-degree view. Hey, Mohammed, yeah, that's good. Mohammed also sent an email to you, Unmesh, so have a look at that. So started with the 360-degree view when Bank of America had taken over a new bank in Toronto and Canada, and I was consulting over there. So I started my career with basically with COBOL, Pascal, and all of that. Moved on to Java and moved on to BPM. And 2009 is when I had come down to the big data space. Right now, I'm the SME to JP Morgan, and of course, associated with Collabora for as a mentor for the various courses, admin courses, what they do. Okay, so was there with Microsoft and with Sun Microsystems earlier and all of that. So you can have a look at my profile to see who am I. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So that's a quick background about me. Now, if you wanted to have a look at the course content, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to download it again. So I will quickly go down to the earlier batch. The same course contents is what we are referring to. So this is what is the course contents, the topics that we are going to cover up in this course. Okay, totally. You would have 16 sessions. Something was mentioned by Bhavik. He says, regarding LMS, please check your email. So Unmesh would have sent across an email link to you. He sent you the subject line, LMS account details. Okay, so please look at that and see whether you are able to access it. Okay, cool, perfect. So maybe in the future sessions, what we can do in is that during the trial session itself, no, okay, the trial is when they would not have enrolled, right? So they would wanted to do the enrollment after the trial. Okay, okay, understand, I understand. So that's why today would be the first interaction with them, right? Yeah, Naveen was asking me, are we going to cover Hadoop 2.2 or Hadoop 3? Naveen, I didn't know that there is something called as Hadoop 3 that has come, friend. So there are two generations of Hadoop. So there is Gen 1 and Gen 2. We will be talking about both of them. We will be talking about Gen 1 because more than 80% of the implementations are still in Gen 1, Naveen. And the new implementations that is coming is in Gen 2. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Okay, okay. So it was yesterday. Okay, good, good. So that's fantastic, Umesh. So maybe what we could do is, if the session was yesterday, then we should ensure that in future, for the next class, I'm saying, we should ensure that all of them access their links and see if they're able to access to it. Okay, cool. Okay, fantastic. Mohammed is able to access. I'm sure all of you will also be able to do that. So we will start with Hadoop. So like I said, let me go back and explain that too many windows. Let me close this other windows. Okay, cool. So that is already done. So this is done. Now let's go back. And of course, if you just want to know my name, it is Venkat Krishnan and the core settings. So we will talk about Gen 1 and Gen 2 of Hadoop. Okay, both the generations of Hadoop. So what do you mean by Gen 1? When I say Gen 1, the 0.2x and 1.x releases of Hadoop is what is Gen 1. Okay, cool. And for Gen 2, we will talk about 2.2x onwards. Okay, from what I know, the latest release that is available is 2.7.1. Okay, so the latest one that is available is 2.7.1, but then please remember it is like your Microsoft. Okay, so how many of you have got Microsoft Word or MS Office, the latest version? Not everybody, right? We still work with our 2007, 2010, 2012, 2014, right? So the same way organizations, once they get into these generations, they, unless there is a real need why they want to go ahead and do an upgrade, they would not do that. A quick link where you can get all of this information is available. Let me go down to a page. Simply search for Hadoop releases, and it will take you to this release page. And there you can see in July of last year was when 2.7 came, and then further patches of 2.6 came about in October and in December. Okay, so this is the page what you should look at. Let me quickly go down, and what I typically do is whenever I'm sending a link that you have to practice, I put a double asterisk so that you can search in the double asterisk in the document and you can start working with it. Okay. So this is what we will be doing. We will be talking about single node and multi-node. Okay, so Gen 1 and Gen 2 of Hadoop. We will talk about single node is what is also called a pseudo cluster. We'll talk about a pseudo cluster. We will talk about a multi-node cluster. We will also talk about Amazon. in the free tab, you can go ahead and push it in the Amazon link also. So we will be talking about AWS also. Okay, cool. So that is what we will be discussing. Then we will talk about HDFS. That is, of course, the distributed file system. Some of you might be knowing about Hadoop a little bit. Some of you might be very raw in that. So my suggestion is that all of you should start reading some of the basic stuff so that you would be on the same page. For people who know things, that's very good. For people who don't know things, you will have to come up to speed on that, folks. Okay, cool. Gargi, I will not be sending any of the documents via email. Everything will be available for you in the LMS. See over here, my dear. You will have to go ahead and download all the things from the LMS. Okay, that is what the learning management system is, right, Gargi? So nothing will be sent to you via email. Everything will be there in the LMS. So it is basically a pull. I will put all the documents and into the LMS, and you can download everything from the LMS here. Okay, Kalki, thank you. So let me move on. At the end of the session, I will immediately send across this document. In fact, you will see that. And by the time the session closes, this document would be there in the LMS. So that's how we typically do. Fantastic. So then second thing we will talk about is HDFS, the Hadoop distributed file system, the architecture. Okay. Then we will move down to the next one, that is going to be MapReduce. That is the programming part of it. So HDFS is the storage part of it, the way how the data gets distributed in a file system. So we will be talking more about it. Okay, so this is small typo. Storage. Okay, MapReduce is what is the processing part of it. I know most of you are, when you have taken up an admin course, you would typically be a sysadmin or somebody who will be a DBA or somebody who wants to get into the administration line. So I don't expect you to know a lot of programming. Okay, that is what the purpose of this session is also. So we would briefly talk about what is MapReduce, do one example so that you will be coming up to speed on that. Okay, after that, let's move on. The next thing that we will be talking about later on is YARN. So YARN is what comes in Gen 2. Okay, YARN stands for Yet Another Resource Negotiator. Then we will talk about the Hadoop ecosystem. So let me go back. The fourth thing we will talk about is the Hadoop ecosystem. So in the ecosystem, we will be talking about Hive. Again, in the admin course, you'll be talking about the installation of Hive and run some basic examples so that you know that how it gets executed. We will talk about Pig. So let me give you a one-liner on all of these things. When I say Hive, Hive is the SQL interface to structured data in Hive, in HDFS, structured data in HDFS. Then we will have Pig, which is a scripting style access to semi-structured structured and structured data in HDFS. Okay, then we will talk about Scoop, that is import export tool for moving data from any relational source to HDFS and vice versa. Okay, then we will talk about HBase, which is a NoSQL data store. NoSQL data store. So we will be talking about all of these ecosystems. Okay, I will be quickly giving an introduction to Spark. That is what is the in-memory data store that is catching up a lot of waves nowadays. And then depending upon how time permits, we will be talking about Storm also. Storm is a streaming style of processing data. Okay, so these are the various ecosystems that we will be talking about. Cool. After that, there are various distributions of Hadoop. So when we do all of these things, that is Gen 1 and Gen 2 of Hadoop, we will be talking about vanilla Hadoop. So what do you mean by vanilla Hadoop is the Apache Software Foundation. That is the base release. So that's how I made you go down to this particular thing. And if you wanted to know the use cases of Hadoop, okay, so that is something that you should look at. If you click on this, who uses Hadoop, there is a powered by link which will give you an alphabetical listing of companies who would be using Hadoop. Okay, don't expect any bank or any commercial enterprise to be here. This is just to let you know how people are using Hadoop. Okay, so that's something that you should look at. So let me just have the document here also. So when I go over here, I expect you to go through these links that I am pasting. Okay, these are the who uses Hadoop. Okay, so that's that link. Cool. Fantastic. Then after that, there are various distributions of Hadoop. Okay, so if you wanted to know what all are the various distributions in the same link of who uses Hadoop, if you scroll to the top, there is a page on companies that offer services on and around Hadoop are listed in this particular page. So if you look at the distributions and commercial support, let me copy that. Let me put this in the link over here. Okay, distributions of Hadoop, let me put a double asterisk. Okay, so these are the companies that will be using Hadoop. So if you look at the, distributions of Hadoop, not using Hadoop. So the most popular of that is Cloudera. So what we will work with is the Cloudera Manager. So there are various management and monitoring tools. So we will talk about Cloudera Manager, and I have got instructions how to work with a 4-node cluster using Cloudera Manager. Then there is another distribution called as Hortonworks. So they use something called as Ambari. Okay, so I should just say Cloudera. Cloudera has got a tool called as Cloudera Manager. Hortonworks has got something called as Apache Ambari. Okay, which is more of a ASF, that is Apache Software Foundation product. And Apache Ambari is where we will be working with that also. So there are various virtual machines that will be shared with you. You will have to download those virtual machines and you'll have to play around with it. Okay, now talking about the hardware. Okay, so that's something that is also important. Hardware. So please remember that for working with all of these things, you would need, if you're talking about Ambari and etc., you would need 16 GB RAM. Having said that, if you're having 8 GB RAM, that should be good for most of the virtual machines. But then for other virtual machines, you would need 16 gigs of RAM. Can't help it, guys. Okay, because what would happen is these are so big that you will need that kind of thing. With 8 gigs, 7 gigs of RAM, you can dedicate it and you can make it work, but it will be slow. Okay, so if you are having only 4 gigs of RAM, it's a good time for you to upgrade your system. Okay, so folks, if anybody is having 4 gigs of RAM, please go ahead. You can start with it. No issues on that. Please go ahead and see what are the options for upgrading. 8 gigs of RAM is what is needed. And then again, most of the systems require 64-bit processor. Okay, and so you can again start with 32-bit processor if somebody has it, but then you would really want to go ahead with the 64-bit OS. Okay, you would want to go for the 64-bit processors. So let's take up a quick this thing, a poll over here. How many of you have got 32-bit processors, guys? And how many of you have got 4 gigs of RAM? Just say yes on the chat window. Ravi, I mean 32-bit or which one? 32 or 4 gigs? Put it yes and put it. What do you have? Hey, RAM has got 16 GB. Fantastic. I don't have to worry. Okay, Gargi has got 8 gigs. So some of these things you might have to look at other options. Rashmi, you will have to go ahead with upgrading your RAM. Can't help it. Okay, let me scroll down. So Anil has got 32-bit. 32-bit, you will have to, Anil, you will have to quickly think of moving, upgrading to 64-bit. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble, friend. Bilal, you will have to look at 8 gigs with 64-bit. Okay. So Rashmi, you'll have to go for 8 gigs. 4 gigs is you simply cannot work with it. Gaurav, same thing for you. Okay. Jitendra, you don't have a local machine. You'll be in trouble, buddy. Buddy, how are you going to work with exercises? Okay, so that's going to be a challenge for you. Abhishek, you have to go ahead and upgrade it. Parag, upgrade it. Okay. Yeah, Femina, 32 bits with 16 GB. Try to upgrade it to 64. Okay, you can start with it. Hey, Rajnish has got 8 GB with SSD. Beautiful. Amol, you will also have to go for 64. Otherwise, you will be able to see what others are doing. But then the challenge is you will have to look at the different options. Mithun, that's good. 64-bit with 4 gigs. Try to upgrade it. Okay. Good, Kiran. Uday, okay, good. Yeah, fantastic. That's good. That's good. So thanks, folks. So some of you have got 16 gigs. So those who have got 16 gigs, I'll be showing you the demo. Of course, we can see it in the recording. But if you want to do hands-on, what I would need, you will have to really look at the various options. Okay, Ravi, you will have to go for 8. Okay, 8 or 16 to see what you can extend. So 8 is definitely possible. I know you can extend the memory, but 16 you'll have to just check what is possible. But because with Core i5, I don't think so. 16 is possible. If it's possible, please invest in that, friend. Okay, Gaurav, 8 with 64-bit is fine. So like I said, 8 GB should be good for most of the virtual machines. So 16 GB RAM is what is recommended if you're talking about Ambari. If you're talking about Ambari and Cloudera Manager, okay, you would need to have 16 gigs. Otherwise, 8 gigs of RAM is good enough. Okay, guys? Got it, Gaurav? Fantastic. So thanks, guys. Good friends. So let's continue. So we saw the various things that, hey, Jitendra, we are going to repair the machines from today itself. This is hands-on, right, Jito? So administration, what theory will I teach you, my dear? So that's something that I'll have to check with this one. Unmesh, I hope you have told them to download the images, right, Unmesh? Yesterday in the trial session, we have already given them the document that we had told them, that is Hadoop setup on 32-bit and 64-bit. I hope you have given them this link, right? If not, we will have to start from tomorrow. That's okay. But then, Jitu, for today, you can look at what things are. Okay? No, there's a limit to which what you can do in AWS, right, Jitu? There's a limit to what you can do, but then a lot of things you'll have to do it on your machine. Cool. You can definitely do it on AWS, some of these things, but not all of these things, friends. Okay. Gargi said she was not able to download the VM RAR binaries. Which VM you were not able to download, friend? Please let me know so that I can give you the links right now. 64-bit. Okay. So this is the link that they have given. So let me click on this link. Let me just work. So I'll go ahead to the 64-bit link, because they keep on changing the link, you know. So if it is not available, I'll share with you. Don't worry. See, it is available. I clicked on that link and I can see that it is available. I showed it to you on the screen. Okay. Gargi, you need high bandwidth. Friend, there's a lot of stuff that we would need. Okay. Rajanish, the course was not started yesterday. There was a trial session. Today is the first day. Don't worry, guys. Okay? Yep, Rajanish. The course has started today, my dear. Don't worry. There was a trial session yesterday, and in the trial session, we had given you the link. See, guys, I have shown you this, so you will have to ensure that I'll tell you what is the file size so that all of us are on the same page. Give me one sec. It is available for me locally. For hard disk, minimum is 500 GB. Okay, Rajito. A hard disk I don't even say because nowadays it's unknown. So let's talk about it here. HDD should be 1 TB is what is most common, friend. 500 to 1 TB. You can also rent it, Jitu. There are a lot of, depending upon where you are based out of. Where are you based out of, Jitu? Almost in, at least in the, you are based out of Hyderabad. So look at Hyderabad. There should be some options that should be there. Hey, by the way, if somebody wants to meet face to face with me, you can do that. I'll be there with Bank of America in Madhapur on Tuesday onwards. Okay, I'll be staying at 11 Tree in Madhapur. So if anybody wants to meet face to face, we can do that. We can meet in the lobby of 11 Tree in the evening. Okay, so I'll be there in Hyderabad because I keep on traveling to different places. So I'll be there in Hyderabad next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, I'm coming back. Okay, good, Mohammed, good, Jitu. So if you want to catch up, ping me, and we can catch face to face. That will be there. Bilal, I'll be there in Gurgaon on 4th, 5th, sorry, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm coming to Fidelity Sector 39. So third, fourth, and fifth Sector 39, Unitech Tech Park or something where Fidelity is there. So I'll be over there. So I'm what do you call, half of the places is I stay at outside the house more than inside the house, guys. Bangalore, I'll be there in the week of 15th or 22nd. That is still not decided because I'm a consultant with JP Morgan Chase, right? So they have got it in Bangalore. That is at this place, EMC Park. And if you go ahead, that office. Rashmi, I'm based out of Mumbai. Okay, good. So I'm based out of Mumbai. Okay, so I'm based in Borivali. So cool. So nice, small world. So let's continue, guys. Thank you. So yeah, so for people who are having some issues, you can always rent machines. Okay, for 1 month you can rent a machine, and that will be helpful. So let's continue, friends. So this is done. So I was talking about Cloudera Hortonworks. So let me move on. The next thing that we have is, yep, how do you plan your cluster? Yep, sudo, Hadoop installations, configurations, security. So we will be talking about the next aspect would be, after this, we will be talking about security via Kerberos. And we will be doing that in the Apache Ambari image. Okay. Then let me move on to see what are the next topic that we will be doing. Of course, the pseudo cluster. We'll talk about scheduling jobs, cluster maintenance, cluster monitoring, all of those things. Okay. So these are the various things that we will be doing in your setup. So Gen 1, Gen 2 on different environments. Okay, HDFS, MapReduce. We'll talk about the various ecosystems, the various distributions of Hadoop, and we will be talking about this. And then when we talk about Gen 2, in Gen 2, we will be talking about high availability. Okay, so hey, Madhava seems to have some issues. He's going on and off. So we'll talk about high availability, wherein we will have our 3 machines, and I'll show you how one of the machines, if it goes down, the other one will come up automatically. Everything is going to be in the form of images. Okay, guys. And the other thing would be, hey, so before I go ahead, so the software part of it is what is the thing that we should go ahead. Ravi says it asks for a password, Ravi. That's surprising. Okay, that's okay, Madhava. So if you open up your 32-bit Collabra, there is no password. Let me open it up. Okay, just give me one sec. I think I know the password. Yeah. So let me share with everybody. The password is HDP. Hey, thanks, Ram. So Ram Prasad also mentioned that the password is HDP. Okay, cool. So So you can have it as a thumb rule. The password for most of my documents is HTTP because of the misuse that typically happens. So that's the reason why we keep it as a password, guys. Password protected. Cool. Let me continue. Where was I? Hey, we were talking about the software. So what is needed now is, hey, you're welcome, Ravi. You can call me by my first name. Okay, you can call me Venkat or VK, whatever is convenient to you. So when we talk about software, by tomorrow, I would need the images to be ready. Okay, so first of all, you should have your virtual machine setup. Okay, so the virtual machine setup requires a virtualization tool. Okay, we would need a virtualization tool. Hey, before that, let's do it step by step, guys, because I'm putting my fingers into too many things at the same time. So let me finish my what all topics we're going to do. Okay, once that's done, I'll continue with this because there's a lot of interdependencies are there. So then we will talk about federation. Okay, in that I would need 4 machines. Okay, so these are the things that we will be talking in our course. You have the course contents. Okay, you have the hardware, and now let's talk about the software. The software, you would have something called as VM player. Okay, so VM player is available, and also how many of you have downloaded the VM player? So let me go down to the document. Let's do it step by step. So give me one sec. The course content is what is finished. Let me go ahead to Hadoop setup Collabora. The password, all of you know, is HTTP. Okay, so that is one document. Then there is something called as VM installation document. That is most important. Let me go down to the VM installation, download your VM. So there you go. Okay, so virtual machines will be used, and these are the things that you will have to download. So you can download the VM player. Okay, Mithun says the VM player has got no link. Let me click on this friend. Otherwise, of course, you can go down to the internet and download that also. That is another easy way. If that's correct, because they keep on changing the link. That's why. So that's good. So that's a good info. So let me share instead of downloading 2 things at the same time, let me go down to copy.com and I will give you a link so that all of you are there on the same page. So there are 2 kind of virtualization tools. Can somebody tell me what do you mean by virtualization? I'm talking about software virtualization. There are 2 types of virtualization. There is a hardware virtualization, there is a software virtualization. And by the way, Ram, when you send an email to me, a message to me, it was private. At the bottom, if you want everybody to see that, you will have to click on all, or else you can, when you click on some name, it will come down to me separately only. Okay? So, guys, tell me, what do you mean by virtualization? Anybody? Quick. Put it on the chat window, folks. While you do that, a little bit of housekeeping stuff. Okay, so housekeeping. We will start off at 8 a.m. as always. Okay, sharing resources is what Rajni says. Okay, a little bit more. We will go until about 9:30 to 9:45, and then take a logical break for 15 minutes because I need a break and you would also need a break. Okay, and after that we will wind up our session at 11. Okay, so that is what is the basic housekeeping stuff. So Rajni is sharing resources. Virtualization is a way how you will be able to, without having a physical resource, you are virtualizing something. Exactly, Mohammed. That's good. So Mohammed said, working on an application with an existing OS. So simple thing like if you wanted to use, let's say, Linux in Windows. Okay, what are the various options? I want to use Linux in Windows. Yeah, very much, Jitu. You can use CentOS as a machine. You can do that, but then I would prefer to have Windows because all the images are Windows based. So you would need to have a Windows, okay, and then on top of that you can have the image file, okay. Good. So if you want to use Linux, so one thing is have a dual partition and set it up. Okay, that is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is you will use a software for virtualization. The various softwares that we have for virtualization is the oldest one is VMware. Okay, they have got VMware Workstation and VMware Player. So like I said, let me give you a link so that you can go ahead and download that. So we would need this by tomorrow, okay friends? So I'm going to give you a link for the VMware that you can download. Hey, you can talk about Hyper-V, that's correct. Yep, there is Hyper-V also. So if you go down to, give me one sec. So there it is. No, let me go down here. Just one sec, friends. Let me give you the latest version so that you don't get into trouble. Okay, life will be a little bit more easy for you. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, there we go. That's it. Right click. I will say copy link. Control C. Done. So this is the VMware. Okay, you can copy it from here. So this is the first thing that you would need. Then second thing that was there was Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, VMware has got both the player and the workstation. Okay, Oracle has got something called as VirtualBox. And third thing, like what Mohammed rightly mentioned, yesterday I was there at consulting for Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters has got all Windows 8 and Windows 10. And I have got these images, right? So there is a converter which will convert it to Hyper-V, and then you can work with Hyper-V also. Okay, so anything. So if you're there in Windows, okay, Windows, you can also work with something called as Hyper-V. So there are multiple things what you can have. So we are going to use our VMware, so that all of us are on the same page. At the end of the day, I don't care what tool you're using, as long as you're able to work with exercises and understand it. Okay. The first thing is that. The next thing is you should go for the 32-bit or the 64-bit Ubuntu image. So if you look at the document, what I had shared with you, so installation document, for you will have to go ahead with either one of them. Okay, so 32-bit people can go ahead with this, 64 people can go ahead with this. So 32-bit or 64-bit of the Ubuntu image. Okay, 32-bit has got a client version, whereas 64-bit has got a server version. Okay, yes, Gaurav, this document will also be there with you, but for the time being, you can go ahead and keep this. I'm going to put this in the chat window right now so that you can keep a separate document, and this is something that should be ready by tomorrow, guys. Okay, because we'll be doing some hands-on. Make sense? So this is what is needed. Okay, so one of the females had mentioned, I think it was Gargi. Gargi was saying that you had some issues downloading, but I showed it to you. It was working, friend. Let me go ahead with the 32-bit and see how many of you have got the image downloaded, folks. Please put it in the chat window. How many of you have got the images downloaded? We have got a fantastic strength of about 24 people here. So how many of you have got it downloaded, friends? Fantastic. Mithun, Amog, very good. Good. Mithun, 64 or 32-bit? So Amog, that means both the versions are working. 64 is working, and Amog just mentioned that 32-bit is working. Fantastic. Have you extracted it? Very good. Abhishek, good, Abhi. That's nice. Okay. Fantastic, friends. Okay, good. Have you got your, if you already have got the VM player, what about the VM player, guys? How many of you have got the VM player downloaded? Because some of you would have already realized that if that link, very good, Bilal. So, Amok, have you downloaded? Very good. Good job. So what am I going to do is, Amok, I'm going to make you as a presenter. Hey Parag, you can start with 4 gigs of RAM. Like I said, most of the things that we are doing, you can start with 4 gigs of RAM. Okay, for the first 2 weeks you can go ahead, but then you will have to go ahead with 8 gigs as you go further. When we talk about multi-node and all that, you have to go ahead with 8 gigs, Parag. You can start with 4 gigs, absolutely no issues, Parag. So let me go ahead and show you how things are. Okay, let me go down to Amok and I'll make him as a presenter. So right click, make presenter. Yes. So now the screen will be shared. Some link will be coming to you, Amok, and you will have to go ahead and say yes, and it will come up. You will have to. Okay. Hey, fantastic. Beautiful background. Good job. Hey, one of you said they have got VirtualBox also. That I'm okay with that. That's perfect, Uma. Okay, so how should I call you? Can I call you as Rao? If that is okay with you, Uma Maheshwara? What's your nickname? How do people typically call you, friend? So that it's easier because okay, Rao should be okay, right? Good. Let me call you as Rao. Good. Hey, fantastic. So go down to the your player. See, he has got the Ubuntu downloaded. Hey, that's okay, Ravi. That's fantastic. Keep this for this. We would need the workstation later on. That's all. See, he has got the Cloudera downloaded. Yeah, champ man. He has got the Ubuntu server downloaded. Very good. Okay. So where is your VM player, friend? Go to the screen and do one thing. Not this. Not this. Yeah, yeah. You need the VM player. Where is the VM player? You need a virtualization tool to run these images, right, Amok? So you would need some kind of a tool which will allow you to do that. So you don't have that, Amok, the player? Yeah, that's okay. Open up the workstation. I'm okay with that. So I just wanted to show to the others how does it look like. See, he has clicked on this workstation and the workstation is getting open. Beautiful. So that, yeah, fantastic. And see on the left hand side, he has got some images already. Red Hat, some images are there. Now he is going to load the images into the workstation. Minimize this, friend. This is a fantastic thing. Minimize this. Go to the place where you have downloaded. Very good. And can you give me the sizes for the Cloudera one so that people will be on the same page? Right click properties. Okay. And one sec, let it come. Yeah, yeah. It's 1.28 GB. Okay, good. So let me put it in the chat window. In fact, I'll show it to you later on also. And go to the Ubuntu server. Open up the Ubuntu server. Yeah, right click. It is 1.63 GB. You have to extract both of them. Okay, good, good, good. 1.67. Say extract to. Never say extract here. Very good. Extract to. Beautiful. Okay, keep the other one also for extraction, the Ubuntu server also. And after that, I'll come back to you again, Amo. Let me go ahead and make myself as a presenter now. Hey, one second. Sorry. You were showing something. I'll make you as a presenter once again. What was the third one? I don't know what was the third one. I made you as a presenter once again, Amo. You had one more thing at the bottom called as Ubuntu. What was that? Please share your screen again, Amo. I made you as a presenter once again. What was the last one, dear? Hey, 32-bit, you don't need it, right? So it's up to you. If you want to keep it, keep it. If you want to delete it, delete it. Okay, you have got 64-bit. So you don't need 32-bit, right? I presume you have got 64-bit, right, Amar? Can you confirm? What is the processor bit that you have? Hey, if you have got 32-bit, then you should extract the 32-bit one, dear. Don't extract the 64-bit one. Okay, please do that. Let me make myself as the presenter while he does this. So what is needed is software. You should have the VM player installed. So let's say prereq for tomorrow. Prerequisites for tomorrow. One, the VM player or the workstation or let me put a slash. Okay, Rao has got VirtualBox, whatever is your choice. VirtualBox extracted. Okay, later on, some of these things would require you to work with your workstation Rao. That's all. Okay, so this is what we should do it for tomorrow. Then, second thing is have the Cloudera and the Ubuntu extracted. Of course, Ubuntu is depending upon your processor, 64-bit or 32-bit. Have it extracted. Okay, so and then we are going to go ahead by that's it. So today, after this, these are the two things that is prerequisites. Okay, of Ubuntu image, and the third one is the Cloudera image. So the Cloudera image also he has downloaded, and that is also there in the document. So see over here, there is a Cloudera VM image also downloaded that needs to be downloaded. Okay. Guys, I hope all of you are clear. So if there is any question, there is no silly questions, there are only silly answers. So please be careful and ensure that you have said yes to understand and say yes, so that it will be clear for me, guys. Okay, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat window. If I don't see anything in the chat window, I'll assume that you have understood it. Okay, because since we have got a good amount of participants, I would want everybody to understand this properly, folks. Cool, fantastic. So these are the three things that is prerequisites. Okay, the Cloudera image. So cool. So some of you already has that. So once the Cloudera image is downloaded, okay, is extracted by Amok, I'll show you how to load this. Okay. So the things to be noted is once the steps are once the image is extracted, once the images are extracted, then we would need to load the image in the I'm saying workstation / player, whatever you are using. Okay, I will from now onwards say workstation. That includes player also, friends. Okay, we need to load it in the player. Okay, we should change the name of the image within the workstation so that we know what that image is all about. You saw on the left hand side there were multiple images that Amok already had, Red Hat Linux, so I have to give a meaningful name to it. And then before the two settings that is mandatory is the memory. So please remember, at one point of time to start with, you will be giving 50% of your base memory. We are talking about single cluster, right? So the memory would be 50% of your base memory. So 8 gigs people will make it as 3.5, or 4 gigs, what is the max that we have in Ubuntu right now? And for 4 gigs people will make it as 2 gigs. And next thing is something called as network adapter. The network adapter should be NAT, okay, since we are working with our own systems, okay. It would be bridged when we physically have multiple machines. When we physically have multiple machines, that's the time when it would be bridged, folks, okay. So Amok is the extraction done, Amok, so that I can make you as a presenter and I can show how we can do these things on your system. Just let me know once it's done. For others other than Amok, who has got all the three things ready, guys, downloaded and extracted, can you please put it under the chat window? I would want all of you to actually do this. Wow, so it's taking some more time. That's okay. Anybody have got it extracted, guys? Downloaded and extracted? So whenever you download anything, always keep it for extraction, because as you would know, that is a prerequisite, right? We should extract our things before we go ahead. Right? Make sense? Does that mean nobody have got it downloaded and extracted, guys? Some of you have got it downloaded, right? Hey, Madhava says, I'm unable to get the images. Why are you unable to get the images? We just had people actually downloading it, friend. Let me make you as a presenter and tell me why you're not able to get that. Give me one sec, Madhava. Right click, make presenter. Yep. Show me your screen, friend. Good, Bilal. What link have you clicked? Hey, you have clicked the 64-bit link, right? Good LMS, good LMS. Yeah, good LMS. On the left-hand side, good LMS. Yeah. Okay, get, login. No, not that, not that. Go to the back window. You got 64. See, there's a 64-bit VM link. Okay, very good. And see on the top, you can download it. Got it? Now, okay. Now do one more thing. Yeah. Don't download it now. It'll eat up your bandwidth. Okay. So now you will have to have download everything. Okay. So then only you'll understand. Good. Now go back to that link. Let this be on. Open up. Let this be on. Open up the Cloudera tag window. Open up the document. Open up the This is the open up the VM installation document, Madhava. 64 is already downloaded for you. Scroll down. Scroll down. Click on the Cloudera link. And see, that is also downloadable. Okay. For the VMware, I have given you a link in the chat window. Can you click on that link in the chat window? What I gave it to you sometime back. I'll copy it for you once again so that you can do that. Give me one sec. So since you haven't installed anything, you might as well as install the workstation. So I'm going to put it in the chat window for you. There you go. Okay, click on this. Yeah, it's coming up. And okay, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And see again, you have got your VM Pro also. Got it? So you have got everything, friend. So you got all the three things, Madhava. Make sense? So why did I show this like this? So that everybody will be on the same page. You're welcome. Let me go ahead and make myself as a presenter. All of you should have all of these things, friends. Okay. Gargi was saying something. Cloudera, I'm not able to get the option for extraction. Just say open. No, something is wrong, Gargi. Let me make you as a presenter. There we go. Please share your screen, Gargi. Okay. Here, the screen is too small resolution. Let me increase it. Unexpected end of data. What are you doing? No, something is okay. Close this. Something has gone wrong. That means it's not completely downloaded, my dear. I'm sorry. Close this. Show me the tar file. Close this window, dear. 99% extraction. Close it. Okay. Hold on. I'll show you the size. I'll show you the size of all the files so that you'll be on the same page. Okay. I'll make you as a presenter. Looks like, what tool are you using for downloading? I hope you know there is a this thing, what I call Internet Download Manager. There is DAP. Okay. So Hey, then you will have to find it out. Gaurav, if you wanted VMware 32-bit, you will have to find it out, friend. Then you have to download a player only. You don't have a choice. That's why I said 64 will become important, friend. Okay? So, yeah. So let me go ahead and make myself as a presenter and put it in the documentation, the exact sizes, so that people are on the same page. Okay? So let me go down. The exact sizes for the images would be one, Cloudera. Let me go ahead and show that to you. Open up one more window. Go down to copy. Go down to Hadoop. Where is my code? Yeah, there we go. So the size is this much, 1.26 GB. You don't have it completely at all. See, I'll give you the exact size so that there's no challenge. Come on. Let me go to the properties of it. Why is the properties window taking so much time? Here, give me one sec. Right click, right click. Okay, I'll put in the size. The size that it is showing to me here is, as you can see, the size of rename Control C is 1323 950 KB. Okay. Second, the what do you call Ubuntu. The link what was given. So where is that? I need to go down to my page. Yeah, this link. Ubuntu server base RAR. Hey, that's correct, Mohammed. There are tools which are accelerators, friends. So Mohammed was asking me, are you mentioning like you can use tools for downloading? That's correct, Mohammed. Go ahead and look for Internet Download Manager or look for something called as TAP. These are tools which will allow you to pause and resume the recordings, a download. Because if something goes wrong in the browser itself, it will spoil the things, guys, right? So this is the one. So let me go back and show you the size of it. Let me go down to copy. Let me go down to the Hadoop software. Yeah, this one. So this is what is the size of it. The name of this file is F2 Control C colon the size of so and so is 17 16 993 KB. Okay, so Gargi, you would see that for you it was not this figure, it was much more less than that. And of course, you would need a tool called as 7-zip or WinZip or WinRAR. I would recommend 7-zip. Okay, that would be, you have that, beautiful. So 7-zip, WinZip or WinRAR. Okay, 7-zip is the best, trust me, guys. Okay, for extraction. Okay, then you would, yeah, that's all. So then you would need an FTP tool also. So a lot of things. You're displaying all this for Windows system. That's correct. This is for Windows because All of you are having, hey, how many of you are having Mac here? For Mac, it will be different. How many of anybody having working with Mac here? Please let me know. Okay, there for Mac, you will have to have something called as VMware Fusion. For pure Linux, you will have to go ahead and look out for tools that is within Linux itself. Okay, see, you're having an image, Jitendra. So if you're trying to work with your thing, what you call, if you're having a Linux environment, you will have to download all of these things separately and then move everything. So it will be a lot more extended step if you are working directly on Linux, because the image will have all of these things, right? So for example, the Ubuntu server image has got a lot of things. So you see over here, out of 26 people, 24 of them, sorry, out of 24 people, 22 of them are with Windows. Okay, yeah, Windows 7 is beautiful, Jitu. So you are planning to use Linux, and one of them is working on Mac. So for Mac, you will have separate tools. You know that, Dave. So only for you, Dave, let me go ahead and show you what you would need for the Mac system. You got it, right? Hey, fantastic. You got this one, right? VMware Fusion. Good, 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 Dave. So cool. So let me go ahead. So this is what you should have, guys. So we are clear with exactly there. That's good. So software is taken care of. Okay. This is there. The next thing that you would need is, you still need two more things to make this work. Okay. So have this third thing is, you would need something called as putty and then empathy. Putty should be enough to start with. Empathy we will talk later on. You should have putty, and the fourth one you should have a FTP tool called WinSCP. Okay, so these are the things that you would be needing. So WinSCP is a tool which will allow you to edit the things also. So you would need putty and WinSCP. So let me go ahead and show you from where you can download putty. So if I just search for download putty, so you would see this page, and in this is the link. Right click, copy link location, and I will paste it over here. Control V. I'll paste it in the chat window also, so that folks, if you want to do it, you can do that also. There you go. And then for FTP tool called as WinSCP, let me see which version of FTP tool I'm having. Because the new versions have got a lot of technical issues. The standard one is the best. Give me one sec. On this link, so if I open up WinSCP, I want to go to the help and find out which version am I using. Where is my about? 4.3.9. Okay. So you will be getting it from filehippo.com, and I'll search for something called as WinSCP, WinSCP. I don't know the latest version. There's always an issue. Older versions. Come on. Okay. Let me scroll down. Go to the third page. Yeah, 4.3.9. This is the latest version. 4.3 is the best. Almost 3 years back, but then that is what we need. Copy link location. And I have pasted it here. So let me go back and I'll say WinSCP, and I have pasted here also. So that covers the prerequisite that we need. So by tomorrow, you would need to have all of these things. Okay, guys? Keep it ready so that it will be easy for you to understand and you'll be able to work with this. Let me save this. So now what I need is, we are going to go ahead and we are going to talk about all of you guys. So where is that? So we have seen this. Instruction about the course is already done. hardware, virtualization, software is done, the file sizes are done. Okay, now let's talk about, let me put in a checkpoint. So this is where the checkpoint happens. Now please let me know about your details, guys. So all of you, I would need you to type your background, your organization if you can having it, and why are you doing this. So, and of course, WorkX. Okay, which organization and work experience, so that this is just a way for everybody to know. I'll put it over here with your name. Okay, just put in the chat window, put in your first name, how I should call you, and type it in the chat window. I'll just paste it so that all of you would know about each other. So if you go to the earlier batches also in day one, that's what I typically do. See here, James, Vimal, Preetham, you're talking about Vaibhav, you're talking about Vineet, you're talking about Prem. So see, that's how I typically do every time. Okay, so please go ahead, and as and when you put it on the chat window, I will paste it over here in the document, so that, and this document will be there with everybody. Go ahead, guys. So I hope you are clear on the prerequisites. And once we finish up with this, hopefully for Amog it would have been loaded, and I'll show you what the things are. Come on, guys, put it on the chat window, folks, so that I can copy paste. Thank you. Rashmi is with Atos. Okay, sysadmin, beautiful Rashmi. So that's nice. So Linux background should be good. Great. Waiting for the others. Okay, they sysadmin waiting for the next assignment. Good. So good thing is to look out for upgrading your skill sets. Fantastic. Bilal is with HCL Tech. Okay. Data center operations. Beautiful, Bilal. Gaurav is one Windows admin having a Red Hat certification. Very good job. This is Bilal, and then this is Dave. Yeah, yeah. I'll just put in a semicolon. Okay, Gaurav, thanks. Gargi is Oracle DBA with emphasis. Would like to have a good exposure to Hadoop admin. Okay, sure. So only thing is that you should know a little bit about Linux and sysadmin also. Okay. Parag is a technical architect with Accenture. Okay, get Parag, but then you don't seems to have a this one friend. What do you call tech Linux background? I hope you are comfortable with Linux. Okay, Ravi, MCA, ASP.NET. Okay, at Ahmedabad. Okay, so Ravi, the thing is, you would need Linux background also. Okay, I hope you know. Madhava is AX Administrator. Want to know? Yes. They're in the right place, Madhava. Hey, your basic should be okay, Gargi. Rao has got, is with Samba, Riyadh, Solution Architect, Data Warehousing Experience. Good, good, Rao. They're in the right place. Okay, working with Dell. Good, Bharat. Guys, if I've missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'll just look at it. Too many things coming at the same time. Then we have got Anil working as sysadmin. Good, Anil. So I'll just say Anil. Okay. WebLogic admin. Naveen is parametric testing enthusiast. Yep, very much. They're in the right place, Naveen. A lot of new things is what is happening over here. Sure, Femina. Engineering, interested in big data. Okay, still to explore if this course will help me in the same. You are in big data analytics and engineering. So Femina, what you need to do is ideally, if you talk about analytics, Femina, the developer course would have been better for you. Okay. So, but then you're here, you might want to check what is a good option for you. Okay, Mithun, because this is all hardcore administration work, guys. Okay, so that is my friendly suggestion. Good. Jitendra is with Linux admin. Very good. Security. Good. Let me go back. Naveen I have added. Mithun I have added. Rajneesh is, yeah, I missed Rajneesh. Let me copy Rajneesh. He is with, no, I think I have written Rajneesh. Did I miss him? I think I missed him. Yeah, yeah. He is with data center operations in Walmart. That's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, Khalil is with, hey, UHG where? Hyderabad? I have come down to your UHG Hyderabad office multiple times. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the new park behind the lemon tree. I know that place. So I have come down to your place many times. Okay. Khalil. Thank you, Khalil. Sorry, called you with a different name. But now I know how I should call you. Okay. Did I miss somebody, guys? Let me just scroll up. Please, if I missed, if your name is not there in this list, please put it once again, friends. Ram Prasad. Ram is wanting to move into the admin side. ETL with this. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, please put in your thing once again, Amog. Oops, Control C. He's put it twice. Yeah, that's right. So I'll just remove once. Okay, good, good. Then we have got Uday, BTech, Telecom Domain. Fantastic, Uday. Okay. Amog, if you can just put in your credentials once again. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Come on, I have come down to NetMagic, Amog, at Vikhroli. I have already covered, I have come down to you guys. I have done admin training for you guys at your office, NetMagic. Sorry, Rohit. Dear, if you can put me again. It was not deliberate, Rohit. Okay. So let me go down to Abhishek. I didn't see your thing coming in, Rohit. That's why, once again, hey, there we go. He is working with Vodafone. Which location? I was there at Vodafone this week at Pune, delivering a admin training. Come on, we missed each other. I was there at Vodafone. I know you are in Eon IT Park. Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday, I was there. Friday was a holiday for you in Vodafone, right? So Monday to Thursday, I was over there. A lot of your colleagues was there in the training. Okay, so Rohit. Okay, good. Yeah, that's correct. It was for Hadoop. Speak to Piali. Piali is your coordinator in L&D. She would know that. This was the second course. One course was in December, November. This was advanced Hadoop what I took for you guys. Kiran is the quality control person. Okay, sysadmin, good. Okay, good, good. That's nice. So I think if I missed anybody, my apologies. If you want it, I can quickly put it once again to my chat windows, as you can see. So that's the reason. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Hey, I've mentioned that. So good. 23 people. Fantastic. So we are all set, guys. So you know each of your colleagues. You know what we're going to do. Hey, Sway, SAS programmer. Well, if you're a SAS guy, I think again the developer course is something that would have been good for you, Sway. Okay. So this is an admin course. I hope you know that. Okay, because you have to be there in the right course. Okay, okay, good, good, good. That's okay. because folks who do SaaS would be you are guys in demand, because you would need to know Java and you should know a little bit of development, because I was consulting for GE data scientist at Bangalore. Okay, so a lot of things happening for SaaS guys getting into your Hadoop skill sets. Cool. So all 24 are there. Good, guys. Thank you, folks. So I would need your support, guys. You would need to follow the instructions as what we are doing. So Amog, has extraction happened? Okay, I need your support so that all of you please work on this. Do your homeworks on time. Okay, so if I say something needs to be done, please really do that, because if you don't do that, then it will be a trouble for you to catch up with the things, guys. So let me go ahead with Amog and I'll show you now how we need to load it in the VM. So if you had the VM ready by now, you could have followed me hands-on. Okay, so let me go ahead with Amog and make him as a presenter. There we go. So Amog, share your screen, friend. First, we will load our Cloudera. Okay, go to the workstation. Yep, I can see that. And one thing, Amog, is you're doing it in D drive. All of these things, I mean, in your in external hard disk, you're extracting all that. Performance will be impacted, friend. You'll have a really bad performance. Later on, you might want to change that. Okay, because you might have to put it, because swapping the paging will be tremendous if you put it on an external drive and do all that. Okay, but then let's see. Go down to your workstation. Okay, good amount. That's okay, friend. That's nice. So now let's load the VM. So click on the file. Yeah, there it is. So open a virtual machine. Select open a virtual machine and go to the place where you have extracted. Go to the place where you have extracted. If you go here, keep a folder called as Hadoop in future and keep everything inside that. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. No, I want Cloudera. Where is Cloudera, friend? You were extracting Cloudera, right? No, not that. Close this. Go back to your screen. Okay. See Cloudera, you were extracting it. Where did that go? Okay. This one, that's correct. That's a Cloudera one, right? So please extract it. So by mistake, you have extracted the 64-bit one. That's okay. So let this happen. Let this happen. In the meantime, I'll show you the Ubuntu one, what you have to do. So minimize this. From the workstation, we will go ahead and say open a virtual machine. Point it to your free agent. Yep. Go down to your Cloudera 32-bit. Yeah, there we go. Yep, go inside that. Yep. You would see a file called as Ubuntu. The extension is VMX. He's not shown the extensions. That's the reason why the VMX extension is not shown, but then the file name is VMX. That's okay. Say open. And on the left hand side, it should load it for you. See how much time it takes. It will take a lot of time for you, friend. But then we will manage that today. Very good. So a couple of things. First, look at the memory. The memory is only 1.3 gigs. And what is the memory what you are having? I think you are having a memory of 4 or 8. I don't know. So you'll have to give it half of whatever is the memory what you're having. Okay, 4. So you will have to give it half. So go to edit virtual machine settings. This is for 32-bit guys, okay? If you click on edit virtual machine settings, you will need to give it as 2. The network adapter is already NAT, okay? And you will say okay. So this is how you'll make the changes. And then now click on power on this virtual machine, which will, on the right hand side above edit, you will see power on. Very good. This is for 32-bit folks. I want somebody with 64-bit also extracted so that I can make you as a presenter. Who is volunteering, guys? I got no clue why this internal error. Something is wrong. Okay. It is looking at configuration file is iDrive. Okay, that is your iDrive. Okay. I don't think it'll work, my dear friend, because it has to load that image. Technically, it should work, but then I haven't seen anybody working on an external drive, loading it and installing it on an image. Okay, minimize that. Go down to your Windows Explorer. There should be LCK files and all those things created. Yep, go inside your Ubuntu 32-bit. Yep, go inside that. Do one thing. In the details, click on the view drop down on the top. Little bit. No, go to the right. The third icon in the third layer. Left, left, left. Drop down. Show details. That one only. More options. Details. Okay. It's actually created. There should be an VMX file. You see, it didn't understand it. See, the icons did not change. That means it has not understood the extracted copy, friend. That's the reason. The icon should have got changed. That's the reason why it didn't show you this, because it's not able to associate the icons with your VM player amount. That is a challenge. Okay. So sorry, Amog, you might have to put it onto your disk and you'll have to see how to work with that. Okay, so no, VirtualBox, that will confuse people, Rao. So that's the reason. Anybody else have the image ready? Okay, no worries. Thanks, Amog. You know what you have to do. Let me make myself as a presenter. Anybody else has the image ready so that we can see that? Looks like nobody is having it. Because I can show it on my machine, but then that would not make sense. Because we would need to have this on your machine so that you would know what you need to do. So that's okay. So what we will do is have these things as prerequisites so that you have the base things ready and then go ahead with it. There's absolutely nothing that we can do now. Okay, because you guys don't have that. That's okay. That's not a challenge. Okay, so guys, I hope all of you are clear as to what you need to do, right, guys? Any questions, folks, on what is the prerequisites for tomorrow? Okay, because typically in a batch, I would have at least one or two guys who would have the prerequisites ready. So some of you already said that they have downloaded it. Yeah, that's correct. That makes sense, Rajneesh. So I think what we will do, guys, is no, Bilal. If you use an external hard disk to install game, again the paging issue is bad, right? Don't do that. It will slow up your machine a lot. Okay, it will slow up your machine a lot, friends. Okay. Yeah, don't do that, Bilal. Yeah, guys. So what I would suggest, guys, is keep all these things prerequisites ready because without doing this, we really cannot proceed further. Okay. So looks like we have hit a showstopper today, but that's okay. First day, we have understood each other. You know what are the prerequisites. You know what needs to be done and all that. So let's do it in that fashion because there's no sense in trying to rush things up because everybody has to be comfortable with the things how it is. Okay. Yes, Ravi. Both are required. Putty is a tool because when you work with a VM player, okay. Hey, Gaurav. Somebody was asking me, can I use an external hard disk and then do it? So that is the reason why I had mentioned that. Okay, so putty is needed because it's like demo desktop. In the VM player image, you cannot copy paste. It doesn't have a scroll bar. So we will start with the VM image and then we will start with putty so that you can change the font of it, you can change the background, and it will be very comfortable doing that. That is what is putty. WinSCP is a tool for this one. A WinSCP would be a. Okay, that's okay. So we will definitely give you a background. Don't worry, Gargi. So we'll cover up all of those things. Don't sweat over it. We're going to cover up everything. Okay. But then the initial thing is you should have the thing set up right. At least you should know what it is. Okay. So WinSCP is a tool which is an FTP tool. People might know VI, that's good, but then many a times the way how you work on Windows is like a notepad, right? So WinSCP will allow you to edit the documents. That is what is the difference, Ravi. Okay, cool. So let me go down. So Gargi was saying background. Very much we'll definitely talk about the architecture, but then I want you to be comfortable with the setup. That is the thing. So once the setup is done, I can tell you about the architecture, and you need to do hands-on with the architecture, right? Got it, Gargi? You need to do some hands-on with the architecture, so that will make it easy. So let me give you something else also. So let me go back. So there's one more thing what I wanted you to start reading for people who are totally new is there is a very good book called as Hadoop Definitive Guide. So I'm just going to give you this link. Okay. So read the chapter number 1 of the Definitive Guide. That will give you the basics clear. Okay. For people who are totally new, there is a fantastic book called as Hadoop Definitive Guide. Okay. And you can download it from here. I'll copy paste this in your chat window. One sec. There we go. Okay. So Ram was asking me, admin course, is it suited for the Informatica developers? See, admin is more to do with the administration part of it. Yes, it would be good. Okay, you will be able to understand what the things are. So in Informatica, there are a couple of things. One is a developer, one is the administrator. So if you look at the development part of it, Hadoop developer is what would be closely related to what you're looking at, whereas Hadoop admin is for sysadmins and administrators. Okay, I don't want you to put onto a wrong path, so that's the reason why I had mentioned that, Ram. Make sense, Ram? Cool. Okay, so this is something that Gargi and all the others who are totally new to Hadoop, please look at this particular Hadoop definitive guide and look at your chapter number 1. So let me open up that guide for you now. Hey, this thing opened now. My God. So it was definitely a problem with the size. So let me go back here and real quickly show you the definitive guide. There we go. So I'm opening up the Hadoop definitive guide. So the first section is Meet Hadoop. There are 16 pages that is there. This will give you at least a background as to what is Hadoop about. And I would want you to let me put it in the document so that you guys are clear. Okay, so the reading, so every session I'll be giving you some reading material and some homework. Okay, so that you can do it in the week. So this is the reading material. You will have to go ahead with chapter number 1 of the definitive guide. And the second thing what you'll have to do is look at the who's using Hadoop, who is using Hadoop page. Okay, so the page that we are talking about is what I have copy pasted it for you earlier. That will give you an idea about what things are. Okay, so let me just copy this from here. Who uses Hadoop? So that would make it simpler for you. There we go. And then the third thing is the distributions of Hadoop. Distributions of Hadoop. I have already shared this link also earlier. Okay. So these are the different reading materials that you will have to come up to speed with. Okay. So typically in the first session, what we do is we will make people comfortable. We will ensure that you load the things, you do the prerequisites, keep the things ready, friends. Okay. Another thing, this is also good, nice thing that we have. Yes, definitely. These sessions are recorded and the sessions will be put in a LMS. So if you go back over here, where was that link? Let me click on that. Yeah, in the LMS, you see that yesterday's trial session was also recorded. So Rajesh, you might want to go ahead and have a look at it. Okay. Cool, Dave. The next thing, 64-bit people, 64-bit folks, okay, how many of you know about Intel virtualization? Okay, 64-bit systems needs to have Intel virtualization enabled. Okay, so how many of you know about Intel virtualization, folks? Because that is what is the crux. Okay, so you will have to know about Intel virtualization, because if you are having a little bit old kind of a processor, you will have to enable virtualization. So you will see an error that will be coming up when you load this. This is only for 64-bit people. Okay, so for 64-bit people, once you log in, okay, so hold on, let's make it systematic. So this is what is the reading material. Now let me talk about 32-bit users. Okay, so for 32-bit users, once you load the VM into the player, into the workstation, okay, you can play the VM, play the image. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you because I have got 64-bit, I don't have 32-bit. Okay, so tomorrow hopefully people will have this. Okay, you can play the image, and the password for the username. Hey, I'm doing good, Naveen. Okay, you just joined in right now, because I didn't see a name there earlier. Okay, no, you are there, Naveen. Okay, I think you went to a wrong window. I think you have posted it onto a wrong window. Okay, cool. So let me scroll down. So you can play the image, and the password for the Cloudera user is Cloudera. I'm trying to preempt what all are the things that you will have. Okay, that's what I thought, Naveen. It was the wrong window. Okay, so this is what you should be doing. You can play the image, and the password for the Cloudera user is Cloudera. This will start with the uh, Cloudera image. This will start with the Cloudera image, and you will all be ready. Okay, so for the 64-bit image, for the, this is for the Cloudera. There are two VMs I told you, right? This is for the Cloudera 32-bit guys. For the Ubuntu, okay, once you load the VM into the workstation, you can play the image, and the username password to be used is user and password. User is a username, password is a password. This is for 32-bit guys. For 64-bit guys, you would need to have Intel virtualization enabled. Okay? If not, you will see a error like this. I'll show you a print screen of the error. So I hope 32-bit folks, you are clear, right? You will have to download two things. You'll have to extract it. You'll have to load and keep this thing ready for tomorrow. Okay? For 64-bit guys, you will have some issues about Intel virtualization. What is that is what I'm going to show you right now. Give me 1 second. Let me go down to, oops, cancel. Okay. Let me go down to this one. Come on. Yeah, that will be over here. One sec. Original setup. Yeah, there it is. So this is the kind of error that you will be seeing. Okay. This VM is configured for 64-bit operating system. However, 64-bit operating system is not available. Okay. So this host supports 64-bit, but Intel VX is disabled. So you will have to enable this by going to the BIOS mode. Okay. So you'll have to understand which system. By rebooting a system, how will you go to the BIOS mode and do it? So this is for, let me again go back here. I showed you the screen. For Windows 7 users, 64-bit, go to the BIOS, and in the security settings, enable Intel virtualization. For the Windows 8 and Windows 10 users, okay, there is a ready-made video that you have, guys. Life is easy for you guys. So if you go down to youtube.com, I'll be giving a lot of links of YouTube, guys, so that your base becomes clear. If you go down to youtube.com and if you search for Intel virtualization, okay, it will take you to hold on, no, Intel virtualization in Windows 8. There's a new Dhaka user that will be there. Yeah, this guy. See here? Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, why not? So see here, this link. This will show you how to enable Intel virtualization. Let me copy this link location and paste it over here so that you will have it. Okay, cool. Then you guys will have to go ahead with the Cloudera image. Cloudera, same thing like 32-bit users. And second is Ubuntu. Okay, but since the image is different for you, the username would be not root and the password would be Hadoop123. Okay, username is so and so and password is so and so. So this is what you should be knowing, guys. So separate set of instructions for 32-bit guys, separate set of instructions for 64-bit guys. Okay, please be careful with this. Okay. Jitu, if you are having that, okay, what is the RAM that is there in that machine? The AMD Athlon, what is the RAM that you are having? The hard disk is only showing you as 250 GB. Okay. What are the memory that you have inside that? Cool. Okay, that's good. That's good. Make it as 8. That should somehow work for you. Okay. Okay, friends. So this is what is the thing. So please go ahead with this. Ensure that you have done all of these things till now. So what we will do is we will take up a quick 15 minutes break right now. Once we come back, I will talk to you a little bit about history of Hadoop. Okay, little bit of theory I can do so that when you read this later on today, you will understand how things are. Okay, so couple of things that you would need. Okay, so these are the things that needs to be there, guys. Okay, so any questions, folks, before we take a break? Any doubts, any questions? Parag, any integration with Hadoop and SAP? Very much. There's a lot of integration because SAP HANA will be using Hadoop as a data source. The way how the data gets distributed, so SAP HANA will use Hadoop as a data source. Got it, Parag? Good. Yep. That's nice. Okay, so cool, guys. So let's take up a break now, and tomorrow I would want all of you to do this, but then we will do a little bit of theory today so that at least I can get you up to speed on what is big data and what is Hadoop. Okay, Cool. So let's take up a break. It's about 9:44 now. Okay, that's correct. So from 10 to 11, we will do some basics about big data and Hadoop so that you would know what it is, and then keep all these things hands-on. Okay, I can't do anything on hands-on today because none of you have it, and the balance, all hands-on, we'll be doing it tomorrow. So administration is more to do with the admin part of it, a lot of hands-on, right? So we'll be focusing a lot of hands-on. Cool, guys. So that's what. So post 10, we will do that. So let's take up a quick 15-20 minutes break. I should be back here by about 9, between 10 and 10:05, I should be back. So I also need to have my breakfast. So let me quickly do that. All of you do that, and we will catch up again. So I'm just going to mute myself. The screen will be there as it is, so that if people want to do something, they can go ahead and do that download, or you can also take up a breakfast. Okay, so thanks guys. See you back in the next 15-20 minutes. Thank you. Hey guys, back again. So let's continue, guys. Hey, good. So Amok was saying he's managed to resolve the error and start the two VM, but not sure how they will perform. Hey, definitely. Let's see how it works, Amok. Rao, I would suggest that since you wanted to be on the same page with everybody, it would be better if you download your VMware. Okay? Good, Anil. No, no, no. We are just starting off right now, Gargi. Cool. So let's continue from where we left off. So I just wanted to show on the screen how does it look on the 32-bit VM. So let me go ahead and make Amog as a presenter. There you go. Passing on the access to your Amog. Please share your screen. Okay, good. So, hey, what is this VM that you have done? Okay, just say don't upgrade. Select, I was wondering what is this. Say don't upgrade. So here's say first power up this VM because you already started. I wanted folks to show don't upgrade. Click on don't upgrade. Okay. Can you power up this VM? Go to the VM menu on the top, on the top. Go to VM. Not that, my dear. The menu, file, edit, view, VM, power, and power off. Shut down guest. Cancel, 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 cancel. Shut down guest. Very good. Hey, once again, Anil is saying voices are lapsing. Others, can you hear me loud and clear? Are you having some issues, guys? Anybody having issues in hearing me? Can you please let me know? Okay. Unmesh is talking. No, I don't hear Unmesh talking at all. Unmesh is on mute. Okay. Good, good. Gaurav is saying good. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Anil says you can hear his voice. He is on mute. You can't hear him. I just muted him. Abhishek says it's good. That's surprising. Hey, you might be listening to some other video. Is any video going on at the background? So stop that video if any video is going at the background. Okay, okay, good, good, good. Yeah, yeah, Anil. Okay, good. So see, this is how, yeah, that would have been the case. Okay, Rajneesh, it might be to do with a little bit of bandwidth at your side because I am having a dedicated fiber line. So unless it, I mean, in between, if it goes off, I have to just restart. I'll be back in about 1 minute's time if my voice goes away. Don't worry about it. Okay, but otherwise, I never have issues with bandwidth. Okay, guys. So see how he's got Ubuntu and Cloudera loaded. So go to Cloudera now. Go to the Cloudera, and he has already made the. Go to the first edit virtual machine settings. Remember, I told you about memory. Make it as 2. Okay, and it is already NAT and power on this virtual machine. Very good. So see how he has powered on the virtual machine, and this is what would happen. Good job. Even in the Cloudera VM, the base VM is Ubuntu only. You can see how it starts up. Good job, Amok. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. So for 2 gig, yep, there you see the host controller Ubuntu 12.2 window came up, and see how it is starting up. The password is Cloudera for the Cloudera user. Get, type in Cloudera, and then say login. Beautiful. So you can see how he's logging in on. Never try starting both the VMs at the same time. It will kill you. I mean your system. Okay, because you're already giving it 50%, wait for a couple of seconds. So in the Cloudera image, Hadoop is already installed, everything is already set up. Okay, whereas in the Ubuntu image, we will be setting everything from scratch. So let's wait, it's still not completely loaded. Anil, I hope you are able to hear me clear, right? Okay, good. Yeah, now on the top you see a terminal window. In the image you see a browser and a terminal window. Very good, click on that. It'll open up and just type Hadoop and press enter. And it'll show you a list of options. That means Hadoop is already all set. Beautiful. That means you've got everything ready. Now go to the VM menu and power off this VM, shut down this VM. On the top, VM, power, shutdown guest. Shutdown guest. Power off will only power off the system, it won't stop the virtual machine. Now, go back to the Ubuntu 12 32-bit image, the third tab. Okay, let's wait. All this lag is because of the memory, so once you make it as 8 gigs or 16 gigs, it will be pretty good. Okay, so once it's done, then yep, good. Go to the Ubuntu and power on this virtual machine. Good. See how the Ubuntu 32-bit version is started. In this, it is a plain Ubuntu. I have taken it from an ISO image and I have created the VM. So this is also Ubuntu, but then in this, nothing is installed. We will use Hadoop to install everything in this. Let's wait. So this is what 32-bit users will be doing. For 64-bit, I don't have anybody who has got it ready, so we will see it tomorrow. Okay, it is still to come up. It will come up. No worries. Good. Let it continue. Okay, still loading. Okay, let's take its time, let it finish. After it comes, wow, I'm hitting that's good. Hey, Dave was saying, can you use Red Hat Linux install Ubuntu? Clients use Linux Red Hat? No, not necessarily. It is Ubuntu in a Debian-based system, and it is CentOS. Red Hat is commercial, right? So they typically use CentOS. Whatever, you can try this on Red Hat with a yum install, should not make any difference at all. It will be the same. So Ubuntu is what is more preferred. Yep, good. You can see the desktop. Now you see a terminal window. Scroll down and you will see, yeah, there it is. Get. Let it get loaded. It's getting loaded. That's why. At the end of the day, it is only an operating system. So whatever steps you are doing over here, you can try the same thing with the Red Hat. If you want to try it on your system, you can do that. Should not be a challenge. In the real world, however, a lot of Linux and CentOS is there. See how the username is user. It didn't ask you for a password. Do Hadoop and press install. Type Hadoop and press enter. I'm in. And you're welcome, Dave. So it will come back as a command not found. That means it doesn't know what is Hadoop because nothing is installed on this image. Okay. So good. So this is how 32-bit people should have it ready. Do you have your WinSCP and your Putty downloaded? So please have it downloaded so that later on I can show how it is. So now let me move on. Let me make myself as a presenter and we need to go ahead with the other set of things. Couple of seconds. Just give me a minute. Okay, I think I'm done. Now you can power on this VM because we are not going to do any hands-on on this now, but then you have got your prerequisites ready, Amo. So good job. Let me make myself as the presenter. Oops. Right click and say make presenter. Good, I'm showing my screen. Just one sec. Audience, you're able to see the screen. Okay, good. Perfect. You're able to see my screen. That's nice. So let's continue, guys. So now we're going to talk about what is big data. Okay, so Hadoop is one of the components or the frameworks of big data. So we are going to start our session with the prerequisite everything done. Let's do a little bit of theory. So what is big data? So let's go to Wikipedia and try to understand what do you mean by big data. It means different things for different people. So it's like the elephant, wherein if you close your eyes and then if you touch the elephant, you know, four blind people, what was their view, right? So the same thing. What people feel about big data. Let me go down to big data and simply do a Google search on that. So if you go down to Wikipedia, it says big data is a term for large data sets so large and complex that the traditional data processing applications are inadequate. So what is this traditional data processing applications, guys? Anybody? So what are the traditional data processing applications? There are basically two of them. One is your, yes, very good, Rao, RDBMS, and the second is going to be your data warehousing. Okay, so traditional data warehousing applications can be broadly categorized into two, RDBMS and data warehousing, and that is also what you mentioned, Naveen, is also correct. You can also categorize that into OLTP versus OLAP. Okay, that is online transaction processing, okay, versus analytical processing. Analytical processing. Okay, so when we talk about our RDBMS, we talk about single row, okay, and primarily it is transaction oriented. When we talk about data warehousing, we always talk about multiple rows, and it is basically analytical oriented. So these were the traditional data processing applications what we had. If you wanted to know more differences, OLTP is basically sub-second response, whereas OLAP is delayed response. The tools for OLTP is RDBMS. The tools for OLAP is data warehouse. Okay. In OLTP we talk about rows and columns. In data warehouse, we talk about cubes, fact, and dimension. So if you are hearing a lot of new terms, I would want you to go ahead and look at your Wikipedia again. So if you search for OLAP in Wikipedia, so see here, it's an online analytical processing for multi-dimensional analysis of data and provide the capability for calculations, blah, blah, blah. So go down to your Wikipedia and you'll get a fantastic idea about what is OLAP. Okay, typically it is using data mining. Okay, so you would within this you will talk about slicing and dicing. You will talk about cubes. Later on, you will talk about facts and dimensions also. So you need to look at. I'm just trying to show you how you can go ahead and look at all of these things so that you'll get a better understanding of it. Okay, so now where does Hadoop fit in, folks? We are talking about big data. So where does Hadoop fit in? Or what is it used for? Hadoop is a framework, but what is it used for? OLAP or for OLTP? We are talking about OLAP and OLTP, so that's what I wanted to fit Hadoop into this thing. Where does it fit in? In which column would it fit in? It would be OLAP. So Hadoop is primarily for your online analytical. No, it is not OLTP and OLAP. It is primarily OLAP. But there is a component of Hadoop RAW which will give you transactional processing also, and that component is what is called as NoSQL. Okay, so NoSQL is a component which will give you the OLAP capabilities, whereas OLTP capabilities, whereas Hadoop is primarily for OLAP. So I hope you are clear on this as to what is big data. So if you continue reading it further, challenges include analysis of data. How do I capture the data? How do I curate the data? Curate means transform the data, search, share, store, transfer, visualize, query, and information privacy. So these are the primary challenges what we have in big data. Okay, so this is what is the base. So the traditional processing systems, OLAP versus OLTP. Okay, so now when we talk about big data, you should know something called as 3 V's of big data. Any idea, guys? What are the 3 V's of big data? So there are something that gets characterized as the 3 V's. Very good. So there is something called as, the first V is something called as volume. We are talking about the sheer size, not a variance. It's typically velocity. Okay, volume, variety, and velocity. You didn't say variety. Okay, variance is what you meant by variety. That's correct. So the sheer size of data. Okay, so if you look at traditional days, we are talking about gigabytes and megabytes of data, megabytes and gigabytes of data. But nowadays we are started to talk about in general with terabytes, petabytes, exabytes of data. Okay, now tell me, guys, how many zeros are there in zettabytes or yottabytes? I'm talking about zettabytes. How many zeros are there? And the new term that has come up is yottabytes. How many zeros are there in zettabytes, guys? Okay, you will have 21 zeros in zettabytes and 24 zeros in yottabytes. Okay, so kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and yottabyte. 8 and the 3s are 24. So we are talking about, that is what is the size of data that we are talking about. That is the volume of data. Okay, so more details about this is there in my document. So if you go down to your document, that is already there in your LMS. So if you go down, see there is a document called as HDFS. So open up that particular document. Let me open it up from here so that we would have an access to that LMS. So let me open up hdfs.pdf. Again, you know what the password is. Okay. So we are going to talk about what is big data, what is Hadoop. So we are going to continue with this. So we are going to talk about zettabytes and yottabytes of data. What is big data? A airline jet collects about 10 terabytes of sensor data for every 30 minutes of flying time. So here when we talk about data, why am I showing you this is to show you that no longer are we looking at only structured data. The problem with the data warehousing world is, and with the relational databases, we expect all the data to be structured data, but then that is not the fact. The data would typically be there in a semi-structured or unstructured format. Okay, so that is what is the second V that we are talking about, that is variety of data. I have got a slide later on which will show you there are multiple different varieties of data, sources of data. We'll see that. Then wanted to show you about the volume aspect. New York Stock Exchange generates about 1 terabyte of new trade data per day. to perform stock trading analytics so that you can determine the trends for optimal trade. So the data size is growing. It is getting huge and huge, guys. Okay. So just wanted to show you the Facebook example. So you would see that the social media is one of the biggest source where you get the data generated. You talk about Facebook, and they are also one of the pioneers for this open source development. So a lot of new things have come out of Facebook. The SQL engine Hive that is used for writing SQL queries in Hive, which will fire the queries on the HDFS, that is a storage system, and process that was developed using Hive by Facebook. Facebook also is using, all of you use Facebook messages, right? Have you ever thought what technology is powering Facebook messages? Anybody, guys? What technology is powering Facebook messages? So a lot of things are happening in the industry right now. It is, I didn't hear anybody answering, so it is primarily edge base. That is a NoSQL component, guys. So a lot of new technologies. Cassandra was developed by Facebook. So a lot of new things what social media companies generate. Twitter. Twitter is responsible for generating Apache Storm. Okay, that is a streaming access. So more than two-thirds of the US Twitter users are likely to recommend brands that they follow. And again, more than two-thirds of the US Twitter users are likely to buy from the brands that they follow. So if you are a marketing company and if you wanted to analyze something, Twitter is the best way how you can do your marketing stuff. So if you look at big data, this is what I said. We spoke about the volume, that is the sheer size of it. Variety is the sheer sources of data. Sources of data. Okay, there are a lot of new sources of data that is coming up. So that is what is the second challenge that we have. There is a three-letter word nowadays which is going to cause a revolution in the industry. Have anybody heard about this? What is this three-letter new word which is going to completely revolutionize the way how data is going to be looked at? Have anybody heard about IoT? Internet of Things? That's correct, Amo. Yep, Rajneesh. So IoT is what is going to completely revolutionize the way how people are going to look at data. And big data is going to be more popular now. So if you look at IoT, Internet of Things, it's a network of physical objects. So we know about internet. People are talking about industrial internet. How machines will talk to machines and you will get the results. So industrial internet is something that is getting very popular nowadays. So GE has converted that out. Let's search for industrial internet. So see, industrial internet of things, GE has come out with this concept where people will be talking about it. Okay, so there's a complete consortium of industrial internet consortium also. So G is primarily into that, guys. Okay, so you will have your devices, vehicles, buildings, and other items which are embedded with electronic software and sensors and the network connectivity, which enables these objects to connect and exchange data. So IoT is going to make it more popular nowadays. So there are simply a lot of new variety of sources. Third thing stands for velocity of data. Okay, velocity is the rate of data arrival. Okay, so take the example of fraud analytics. Fraud analytics is a very common example of banking domains because I am primarily from the BFSI domain. So how banking domains use your big data. So anti-money laundering. So these are the new things. If you look at the modern day world, how people are looking at the velocity of data. Okay. So if you go down to the internet, they also have got a fourth V called as value. So let me go ahead. Three V's of big data. There is a very good page by infograph page by IBM. IBM started this term, so I would want you to go ahead and look at that. Okay, the big data hub. So this is what it is. So 4 V's of big data. We are talking about volume, we are talking about velocity, we are talking about variety, and then they talk about veracity or value of data. Okay, what is the uncertainty of data? So these are some of the things that you can look at. So this is what is the 3 V's of big data. Let me put a double asterisk like I always do, and then paste this. Okay. So now let's continue. So you saw what are the 3 V's of big data. Let me close my VM. I don't need that. Cool. Let's continue. So remember I told you about the variety of data. Look at the left-hand side. There are so many new sources of data that is coming up. We are talking about audio, video, and images. So if you are a security company like Tyco, okay, Tyco is a very, very big security firm. So look at Tyco, TYCO, and Big Data or Hadoop. So see, Tyco makes investment in applied data science. From big data comes big results. Tyco's performance. Okay, this is about a job or something. So see here, he's looking out for an engineer with 3 years of experience in big data. Okay, so Tyco is typically into this because I have consulted them also. Okay, so they are primarily into fire and safety kind of appliances. Hey Bilal, this is just for the understanding. Okay, so I have kept it. Don't worry. The PDF. Okay, you're talking about this size. I can do that. Let me make it at 75%. Okay, cool. This is just for the understanding field. Okay, I'll definitely do that. Let me make it as 80. That should be good enough. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, so on the left hand side, you would see the audio, video, images. Okay, then you will have earlier what were you doing? All of the data that was there was basically transactional data. You had data from different sources, so that's why you do something called as ETL, extract, do the transformations, and then load it. Okay, and you give that to your business intelligence and to your analytics and visualization tool. But now you have got these new sources of data. One is this audio, video, images, then doc text file, then web logs and click streams. This is a very common requirement wherein you would want to mine the data that is there in your logs. You will have your social media, you will have your sensors, you will have your devices, you will have your RFIDs, you will have spatial data, and you will have a lot of other kind of data. So where you put all of these new data sources that I am talking about, I'll be putting that into a big data platform. Okay, so the most commonly used big data platform is what is Hadoop. Okay, because it is storing data in a distributed fashion. So we'll talk about HDFS, that is the Hadoop distributed file system. Any idea, guys, why am I showing you a yellow elephant over here when we talk about big data? Anybody? Why is the mascot of big data kept as yellow elephant? Let me see if anybody knows about it. Large volume of data, but then why yellow? Elephant is black in color, right? Okay, so why yellow elephants? Okay, the history is behind Duck Cutting, who was the founder of Hadoop. Okay, so yep, that's correct, Kiran. So Duck Cutting, who was the creator of Hadoop, and he is a chief data guy in Cloudera now, creator of Hadoop. His son was playing with a toy, yellow elephant, and he was calling it as Hadoop. His son was calling the toy as Hadoop. Okay, it has got no expanded version, nothing. Okay, so that is how the whole concept of that becoming a mascot came. Okay, so if you go down to duck cutting, search for duck cutting, you will see in almost all the images of duck cutting. Okay, let's go down to images. In almost all the images of duck cutting, you will see the yellow stuffed elephant. See here? Okay, that is primarily to show what her son was playing. And if you wanted to get a quick look at it, Duck Cutting is advocator and creator of open source technologies. She started with a search engine called as Lucene. Okay, and he also created the Hadoop. Okay, cool. Let's go back. So that's how the mascot came about. So coming back to the PDF, okay, so now you have this different sources of data. Where do I put all these different sources of data? I'll be putting that into a big data platform, which is a distributed fashion, and you give the data to your business transactions as well as the runtime models. You store it back somewhere. You store it back into your HDFS. You give the data to your BI and your analytical layer, and back comes the data. The historical data is retained so that you can unlock additional value. So whenever we talk about analysis, you do both transactional reporting and you do historical data calculations, right? So big data is used for your historical data calculations. So that is the primary use of it. Okay. So I hope we are clear on this point. What is the connecting transactions, interactions, and observations? So if you look at the business drivers, okay, that is what is the use cases of big data. In the financial domain, big data is used for better understanding of risk. In the life sciences domain, big data is used for better targeted medicines. So if you look at Pfizer, you look at all of these pharma companies, they are using big data in a big way. Okay, so PH, I think, so Pfizer, let's see. Yeah, suddenly I forgot the name of Pfizer. Okay, yeah, Pfizer, Pfizer and Hadoop. Search for Pfizer and Hadoop. You would see how connects dots to deliver better treatments. Okay, how your big data and applications are there in the healthcare domain. Okay, see here, Pfizer swaps out ETL for data visualization tools. Data warehousing architect helps Pfizer make better decisions. So you will see the pharma companies using this in a big way. Okay, another big company is Sama Technologies. So if you go down to sama.com, SAAMA, so it's a Pune-based company. So of course it's in US also. So Sama is primarily into the big data analytics in a big way. So let the page come up. They have got a product that is your tool for the hospitals. Okay. So if you look at the next one, no, not this, not the Salesforce, not the hedge funds, this one. Okay, so this is how you will be able to analyze the patient outcomes from a variety of sources in real time. Okay, so this is what Sama Technologies really do. So Sama is also another big giant over here in the life sciences domain. You talk about telecom companies, you might know about Amdocs, which is the back office for AT&T. Of course, Vodafone. Okay, one of the Rohit is there from Vodafone. Vodafone uses this in a big way. So if you look at the telecom related companies, you would see that almost all of them use big data for historical analysis as well as for your call detail record analysis, etc. Singapore Telecom is using big data to identify when a tower can fail. Talk about the retail domain, that is your personalized kind of things that you would need. Talk about your media domain. If you look at foodbasket.com, they are using it in a big way. If you look at Big Bazaar's inventory system is used using big data. If you know about Uber, Uber is using big data in a big way. Okay, so if you wanted to search for Uber and the big data, there was some article in YouTube that I have watched recently, Uber and big data. Okay, see how Uber uses Spark and Hadoop to optimize customers. Amazing ways how Uber is using big data. So amazing ways Uber is using big data analytics. So start looking at all of these things. So this will help you. This was an article way back in May, how they have said how Uber uses big data for a lot of work. Okay. So then we talk about government sector. Can somebody let me know where Indian government is using big data or Hadoop to be very precise? Media is also using big data in a lot of ways. Very good, Uday, the Aadhaar implementation. So I have got the complete Aadhaar implementation stack with me. So if I go down to this, yeah. So look at this diagram which talks about Aadhaar implementation. They use Hadoop, they use HDFS, they use Hive, HBase, Solar, Mongo. So this complete architecture is available for you for free. Okay, so if you wanted to look at it, so go down to YouTube. Dr. Bala and Dr. Pramod and Bala had spoken about this about almost 2 years back. I was there at that conference in Bangalore when this talk was when this was given. So if you go over to Aadhaar and Fifth Elephant, you will see how, see here, this is that video I'm talking about. Dr. Pramod and Bala talking about big data at Aadhaar. The complete architecture they have mentioned it here. I'm going to copy the link location, and this is something that you'll have to see, you'll have to watch. Okay, this is Aadhaar big data implementation. Okay, so you can look at that, guys. So this is just to show you what are the different use cases of big data. How would that be? Okay, this is something that we'll have to look later on. But then there in use cases, I have already given you a link earlier, right? That was called as Hadoop powered by. So if you look at the Hadoop powered by page, that is who uses Hadoop, that page, you will see an alphabetical listing of how companies use big data. Okay, you would see okay, just give me one sec. What happened? This page is not coming up. It's taking a little bit of time. That's surprising. The internet is not bad. Let me go down to Hadoop releases. That page comes up reasonably okay. Who uses Hadoop? Let me go from here. Looks like that one page is having some issue. It came up earlier, but now it is becoming a little bit slow. Everybody should be able to see the same thing. Maybe that is under maintenance or something, that particular site. So anyway, it will give you an alphabetical listing of how people are going to use big data. Okay. So the other fantastic material for big data is there in a site called as HadoopIlluminated.com. If you search for Hadoop Illuminated and use cases, so there is a book, there's a site called as HadoopIlluminated.com in which there's a free book on Hadoop. Okay, there are a lot of free resources, but you should know how to put the pieces together, right? That is where we come in picture. We help you in understanding the things in a better way. Okay, so this book has been written by Suji Maniam, who is one of my old friends. So he's based out of San Francisco in US. So he has written a book in which chapter number 10 talks about use cases of Hadoop. So if you talk about use cases of Hadoop, this particular thing is a must. So in US, with the presidential elections coming, people are talking about big data in a big way. In fact, Obama had used big data in his both his elections in a big way. Okay, so how big data helped Obama win the re-election? So if you search only for, hey, that page came up, powered by page. So this will show you an alphabetical listing of how companies are using big data. This is not an exhaustive list by any way. This is just 1% of companies that is using big data. So you can look at each of these things, you will come to know how they're using it and for what they are using Hadoop and big data. Okay. And also, if you search for over here Obama and big data, Obama and Hadoop, or let's say big data, that's a better word. So you will see how there's a lot of articles which talks about how in 2013, the real story of how big data analytics helped Obama win the elections. Okay, the slides are already there with your, as you, who was that? It was a new person who had come. You didn't introduce yourself. Let me go down to the new person. Suraj? No, hold on, your name is a tongue twister. Surjia. Okay, so Surjia, this is already there with you. So you are a little bit late, my dear friend. If you go down to the LMS, in the LMS, we have already given these slides to you, Surjia. Okay, so can you give me your introduction also, Surjia? Okay, so others have already done this. So you can see over here how others have mentioned about their details. So please give me a quick intro about yourself too. So you are late, almost 2 hours, friend, because this class has started almost at 8 o'clock India time. Okay, so let me know something more about yourself, friend. Put it onto the chat window. Here, let me continue. So these videos are already there for you. It is already available. Let me scroll down. Okay. So if you look at this, how where is it? This one. Yeah. How Obama used big data to rally the voters. How Obama's chief data scientist reveals how government is using big data. Bloomberg has got an article on how big data helped Obama campaign. Okay, how Obama changed the political campaign with big data. Okay, so there's a lot of traction on that front. Okay, cool. Then when we talk about NetApp, this shows you how NetApp collects diagnostics data from the storage engines that is deployed at the customer location. How this data is used to capture and analyze the health of the NetApp systems. They collect about 600,000 transactions daily. That is primarily your unstructured logs and your diagnostics information. All of your traditional data storage systems was inadequate, so that's why they had to look out for other options, and one of them is Hadoop. So if you look at your data warehousing or your relational data store, the thing that you have in common in both of them is structured data. But then if you look at the industry and if you look at the requirements that is there nowadays, your structured data is just one part of it. Okay, cool. Just give me one sec. Okay, Ashish mentioned he has joined the session late. Will the session be available? Very much, Ashish. If you go down to the blog, if you see over here, today's session will be available for you. The trial session is also here, and today's session will also be here, Ashish. It's already there for you, friends. Okay, cool. No worries. So let me continue. Let me minimize this. Okay, where was I? Hey, you're welcome. I lost my track. I was there over here. Okay, cool. Then, if you look at the financial services, how Bank of America uses big data for data quality. So the previous solution using Teradata and Netezza was time consuming and did not give the data completeness required for the data quality. So they use Cloudera and Datamere. Datamere is another one of the popular distributions which allows you to analyze trillions of records, which results in 1 terabyte per month of only reports. You look at the healthcare domain, how a Hadoop system allows archiving 7 years claims and remit data, which required complex data processing to get it into a normalized format. Okay, so there's a lot of new things what is already happening, folks. If you look at the industry, then how a children's hospital in LA is using big data to capture and analyze medical sensor data. So if you look at the healthcare domain, somebody from UHG was also there. So in UHG, the use cases, they look at big data as one of the ways how to capture the agent and the patient discussion. So the chat messages, whatever they talk about, the what do you call the emails that goes ahead, the calls that they make, all of that is put into a big data domain for future analysis. Even JP Morgan Chase is using the discussion, the call information for analytical purpose. So there's a whole lot of new use cases of Hadoop. So you can see how collecting billions of data points from sensors and machines attached to patients. This was periodically paused earlier because the cost of storing this was very high. Okay, yeah, that's you. That's right, Khalil. So was very high because of the expensive storage. But nowadays, you can continuously stream data from sensors and store it to SDFS. It provides a data storage at a reasonable cost. Then if you look at the human sciences, the genome data, so NextBio uses Hadoop MapReduce to process genome data in batches, and it uses HBase as a scalable data store. Talk about the telecom domains. HBase is used to store the call detail report analysis. 30 TB of data is added monthly. That means almost 1 TB per day is what is the data size. Nokia uses again, nowadays it's no longer Nokia, it is Microsoft. So they use HDFS data warehouse to allow storing of all structured and semi-structured data and gives you data processing at petabyte scale. Talk about orbits. The Hadoop cluster gives you a cost-effective way to store huge amount of logs. So earlier, nobody was looking at logs. You look at logs as a post-mortem kind of a thing, wherein something has happened, now you want to analyze why it happened. But people are looking at logs for predictive things. So if you wanted to see what all are the 10 new things that is going to be important in 2016 from the big data perspective, predictive analytics is the foremost. People wanted to predict when something can happen. Would you believe if how many of you have seen this movie called as Minority Report? Have you seen this movie called as Minority Report, which came about in 2009 or 2010? Okay, it's a very popular movie wherein they show a futuristic way of how police are able to catch crime before it actually happens. Okay, so that's a futuristic way of looking at it. Okay, so that is happening in LA right now. In Los Angeles, people are able to predict when a crime can happen without the crime happening itself directly. Before that, they prevent the crime from happening. So a lot of things are happening in the predictive part of it. Look at the energy domain. Hadoop offers storage capacity. Hey, Bilal, others, can't you hear me, guys? Bilal says he can't hear me. Others, can you hear me? Okay, good. Thanks, Rashmi. So, okay, good. So I should say Bilal, sorry, BIAL, looks like an issue at your end. I'll just send it across to him. Thanks, Gaurav and Rashmi, for confirming. Okay. Then, if you look at how a utility company uses big data to give personalized content about home energy to millions of households. Even in Mumbai, Reliance Energy gives you, whenever you get an energy bill, look on the right hand side, they'll give you your energy consumption for the last 1 year. Okay, so that you will come to know how was your energy consumption and how you can play around with that. Reduce your energy. Logistics domain, how collecting and storing hundreds of data points from thousands of trucks and GNFO was impossible. Hadoop allows storing all of these things, and the intelligence they mine out of this information, sensor data, saved them 6 million a year in fuel cost only. Talk about retail domain. Okay, FC uses big data or Hadoop to analyze large volume of log data so that you can calculate the user behavior, search recommendations. So when you talk about Amazon giving a search recommendation, all of those things are happening in the analytical thing at the back of it. Sears process for analyzing marketing campaigns used to take 6 weeks on mainframe, Teradata, and SAS. The new process running in Hadoop can be completed weekly. Amazing statistics. You look at Salesforce, it uses Hadoop to calculate the product matrices, consumer behavior, etc. Look at Ancestry.com. Okay, talk about your Skybox. Okay, analyzing really large volumes of image data downloaded from your satellites. Talk about the utilities companies like your Comcast or Verizon. Okay, I do Verizon in the same place where this one is there, what I call UFG. In the same campus, Verizon is there in Hyderabad. So Verizon also uses this in a big way. Okay, so you can see there are umpteen use cases. So this is just to give an introduction to people as to see you should look at hadoopilluminated.com and look at your other use cases, whatever I said about the Hadoop powered by. Okay, so that will give you a good idea. So what did we see today? We started with what is big data. I told you the 3 V's of big data, and we discussed about the use cases of big data, about the use cases of big data, Okay, so that's where we're going to start today, guys. Okay, so hey, can you help me search companies using big data and SAP in cases where big data and SAP is there? Hey, why don't you simply Google? Because I know myself, Verizon is using, they're using SAP and they're using big data. So just search for SAP and big data. You'll come to know about it yourself. So there's a lot of use cases. So see over here in SAP.com solution, big data, extract full value from big data by combining the in-memory computation of SAP HANA. See how your T systems is using it. See how SAP HANA's big data intelligence rapid deployment allows your businesses to leverage unstructured data. The new SAP HANA tool aims to focus on big data insights, how SAP HANA and Hadoop can accelerate big data. TCS SAP Home Experts deliver your big data in a big way. So there's a lot of use cases. Anybody who's using SAP HANA, because of the cost part of it, it is not used in a lot of ways. But then now with the big data coming in, it can be used in a wonderful way. So wherever HANA is used, your Hadoop can be used. How big data is related to Oracle? Oracle has got its own products. Okay, so you talk about Oracle. See, the problem with Oracle is that they have got their own customized products. So you search for Oracle and big data. See, they have got big data for the enterprise. They have got an appliance. They have got big data SQL. Okay, so they have got their own products. Okay, but then at the core of it, Oracle is a relational data store having two workloads. You can either use a data warehousing workload. Okay, so you would know Exadata. So Exadata's base is built on Hadoop's big data. The only thing challenge with Exadata is that it is more of what you call OLAP way of working. So Oracle does it in two ways. It does it in the form of transactional processing, and it does it in the form of data warehouse processing. Okay, cool. So let me quickly go ahead, and I have printed this document. Like I said, this document would be there in the LMS for you. So let me share this with you. So if you look at this, Control C. Hey, let me go ahead and paste it in my Collabra Jan. Control V, and let me quickly send this across to Unmesh, and Unmesh will put it into the blog. So guys, please work on the prerequisites for tomorrow. Keep the things ready. So today we spoke about what is big data, The use cases of big data. Tomorrow we will talk about what is Hadoop. We will talk about hands-on, and we will talk about HDFS. Okay. So those are the things that we will be talking about tomorrow. So let me send an email to Unmesh, and he will confirm whether he has got it, and that way it will be easier to confirm whether he's got it, and he will upload it into the blog. Let me click on send. So any questions from what we have seen today, guys? So the prerequisites is what you should have it. You should see that coming in your session 1 and 2 over here, and the video will also be uploaded in some time over here. Somebody has sent me a message. Hey, Unmesh is confirming he has already got it. Okay, this is an old message. What is Suresh telling me? Give me one sec. This is a very old message. Hey, I just mentioned it to Unmesh. Okay, Suresh. This is an August batch. Okay, that's correct, Gaurav. You would need 16 gigs for Ambari. That's correct. But for others, it's okay. But for Ambari, you would need 16 gigs. Cool, guys. Okay. So I think that will be it for today. So thank you all for your time. So please keep the prerequisites ready. For the initial set of things, you can work with 4 gigs also, but then you'll have to quickly upgrade to 8 and 16 gigs in case if you want to work with Ambari also. Because that is even 12 should be okay. Okay, not necessarily 16, 12 should also be okay. Because anything more than 8 is required if you want to play around with Ambari. Okay. Cool, friends. And even Rao, I would suggest that you download it. That will be helpful. So thanks, everybody. So see you guys. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Okay? Hey, if you got anything, you will have to send it to Unmesh, and Unmesh will reply back. If needed, he will be in touch with me. Okay, Naveen? Sure. Thanks, Rajneesh, Gargi, Gaurav, thanks, man. Thanks, Madhava, Amog. Thank you, Naveen, Khalil, Ashish, Abhishek, good Rao. Okay, thanks, Mithan. Thanks, Bilal. Hey, Unmesh, thank you so much. Thanks, Jito. So keep the things ready for tomorrow. Okay, good, Ravi. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Sway. Thank you, Parag. So thanks, everybody, guys. So take care. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, thanks, Naveen. Bye, Naveen.